Hello, all fellow dog and cat parents out there. How's everyone doing today? I want to talk about something almost nobody's talking about. Something every single pet owner deals with, month after month, every few months. And that's flea and tick prevention for our furry babies. Whether you grab chewable tablets you feed your pup, or spot-on liquid drops you squeeze on your cat's neck, we all use these pest control meds. Most of us think these products are totally safe. Safe for our pets, safe for our homes, no hidden downsides. But a 2026 research paper published in the top journal Environmental Toxicology and Chemistry just blew that common belief wide open. The study found the Isoxazoline class parasite drugs we use on dogs and cats get flushed out mostly through their poop. And those leftover chemicals stay toxic for months on end. They quietly wreck tiny soil wildlife, creating hidden ecological damage we never see. Today, I'll break down every lab finding in plain American English. No confusing science jargon. We'll cover the real data, the hidden risks, and simple changes you can make right now. First, let's name the 4 big-name meds this study tested. These are the top 4 brands you'll find at every vet clinic and pet store. Number 1, Fluralaner, sold under Bravecto, that 3-month long-lasting treatment. Number 2, Lotilaner, Credelio, the monthly oral chew for cats and dogs. Number 3, Isoxazoline, NexGard, another popular monthly dog tablet. Number 4, Environmental Simparica, a go-to monthly flea and tick pill. If you've owned pets for more than a year, odds are you've bought at least one of these 4. Let's quickly go over how these drugs work. They target nerve channels only bugs and mites have. Dogs, cats, and humans are vertebrates, so standard doses barely affect us. Vets love them because they're highly effective against fleas, ticks, mange, and ear mites. Here's the catch: most product labels skip entirely. Over 90% of this drug doesn't leave through urine. Almost all leftover active ingredients exit your pet's body in their stool. Back before this full long-term study, the European Medicines Agency already flagged these meds as an environmental hazard. But there was zero long-term lab data to prove how long toxins linger in poop. This new research finally filled that huge knowledge gap. Let's walk through exactly how the scientists ran this trial. Every drug got its own separate test group. For each medication, they used 5 adult dogs and 5 adult cats. All pets were at least 1 year old. None had used any isoxazoline drug in the 6 months before testing. That way, old leftover chemicals wouldn't mess up the results. Dogs all got oral chew tablets per label instructions. Cats had 2 delivery methods: oral Lotilaner pills, plus spot-on drops for the other 3 meds. Researchers collected fresh stool samples on a strict schedule for over 3 months. Some tracking went as long as 95 days after treatment. They used high-precision liquid chromatography mass spec machines. These tools can pick up tiny traces of the parasite chemical in poop. They measured peak toxin levels, how fast the drug faded, and the total toxic load over time. Then they ran thousands of Monte Carlo simulation calculations to estimate how likely soil insects would die after eating contaminated pet waste. Now let's dive into the shocking hard numbers. First big takeaway: the toxin stays in stool far longer than the medicine's advertised protection window. Let's start with Lotilaner, Credelio. The box says it works for 30 days. But lab tests showed dog poop still held detectable active drug for 204 days straight. Cats that took Lotilaner had toxic stool for up to 156 days. Next, Fluralaner, Bravecto, marketed as a 90-day treatment. Cat feces still had measurable chemicals at day 128. Dog stool tested positive for the toxin until day 114. Isoxazoline, NexGard, breaks down faster in pets. Dog samples only showed leftover drug for around 34 days. Environmental Simparica falls in the middle, with traces visible out to day 83. That means long after your pet is no longer protected from fleas and ticks. Every pile of poop they drop still carries bug-killing poison. Next metric: fecal elimination half-life. Half-life means how many days it takes for half the drug to break down. For cats, Fluorolaner half-life equals 15.5 days. Lotilaner equals 22 days. For dogs, Fluorolaner 22.9 days, Lotilaner 24.6 days, Isoxazoline 19.7 days, Serolaner 17.4 days. These multi-week half-lives prove the toxin doesn't disappear fast. It leaks into soil little by little, month after month. One extra detail the scientists noticed. Cats that lick their neck spot on drops wind up with drastically higher chemical concentrations in their poop. If your cat's a big licker, their waste is way more toxic to ground bugs. You might be thinking, so what if there's a little leftover drug in dog or cat poop? What real harm can that cause outdoors? Let's talk about dung beetles, dung flies, and all small soil-dwelling insects. These tiny creatures are nature's garbage crew. They break down animal waste, turn it into soil nutrients, feed wildlife, and keep lawns and parks clean. Here's the critical problem. Fleas, ticks, dung beetles share the exact nerve target these parasite drugs attack. The same chemical that kills fleas will wipe out beneficial soil bugs at low doses. The team ran risk simulations to calculate mortality odds for insects that eat treated pet stool. Dogs on Lotilaner, 92% chance bugs hit a lethal toxin dose. Dogs on Fluorolaner, 87% lethal exposure risk. Serolaner sits at 44%, while Isoxazoline only hits 8%. For cats using Fluorolaner, 88% of dung insects ingest fatal chemical levels. Even when we apply strict safety buffers to the math, nearly 100% of contaminated stool exceeds safe toxin limits for soil wildlife. Let's map out the full chain of environmental damage. Most of us walk our dogs in neighborhood parks, grass medians, or backyard gardens. We scoop poop, then toss it in bushes, or bury it in the yard dirt. Cat litter often gets dumped straight into flower beds too. All that waste seeps poison into topsoil. Dung beetles and flies die off in massive numbers. No bugs left to break down waste, so pet feces pile up, breed bacteria and parasite eggs. Rain washes dissolved toxins into puddles, storm drains, local creeks. Aquatic insects also get poisoned. Birds, lizards, and small mammals eat dying bugs, building up chemical toxins in their own bodies. With millions of households using these meds year-round, this low-level soil contamination builds up everywhere green space exists. Now let's bust 3 huge misconceptions almost every pet parent believes. Misconception 1: flea meds only target pest bugs. They won't hurt helpful insects. Wrong. The chemical doesn't tell good bugs from bad bugs apart. Any invertebrate with that nerve channel gets harmed, dung beetles included. Misconception 2: once the drug's protection period ends, the chemical is gone. The data totally contradicts that. A 3-month Bravecto dose stops working for fleas at day 90. Yet toxic residues remain in stool for nearly 4 more months. Misconception 3: scooping poop and burying it in the yard is eco-friendly. It's not. Burying just traps toxins in your garden soil. Any ground bug crawling through that dirt will come into contact with poison. Now I don't want anyone panicking and ditching parasite prevention entirely. Skipping flea and tick treatment is far more dangerous for your pet and family. Ticks carry life-threatening blood diseases. Flea infestations cause terrible skin infections, anemia in kittens and small dogs. We just need tiny daily adjustments to cut environmental harm way down. Here are 4 simple, actionable rules everyone can follow. Rule number 1: pick your flea med based on your pet's lifestyle. If your dog or cat spends tons of time outdoors, you walk them in parks daily. Opt for faster metabolized options, Isoxazoline or Serolaner. Their toxin clears stool much quicker, less long-term soil buildup. If you use Bravecto or Credelio, the long-acting formulas, stick to strict waste handling rules for 6 full months post-treatment. Rule number 2: never toss or bury pet waste in grass, gardens, or wooded areas. After picking up dog poop on walks, seal it tight in plastic bags, throw it in regular household trash destined for incineration. Cat litter cannot go into garden beds or compost piles. Bag all used litter and dispose of it with regular garbage too. Rule number 3: Stop cats from licking spot on neck drops. After applying topical liquid, put an Elizabethan cone on your cat for at least 6 hours. Less swallowed medication means way lower toxin levels in their stool. Rule number 4. If you own a backyard with a fence run, don't leave waste sitting for weeks. Collect and bag all stool regularly. Avoid permanent toxic buildup in your yard dirt. This study also points out major gaps in industry rules right now. Nearly every box and instruction leaflet for these parasite drugs says 0 words about stool contamination risks. Veterinary drug approval only requires a basic short environmental test. No mandatory multi-month stool residue trials are required before a product hits shelves. Regulators and pet supply brands need to update labeling immediately and develop new formulas that break down faster after passing through pets' digestive tracts. Let's wrap up and recap all the key takeaways, nice and simple. First, the 4 top flea/tick meds for dogs and cats mostly exit the body via stool. Toxic chemical traces stay present for months, long after the advertised protection wears off. Second, dung beetles and all soil insects share the drug's bug-specific nerve receptor. Eating contaminated pet waste leads to mass die-offs, destroying local soil ecosystems. Third, you don't have to skip parasite prevention to protect the environment. Just properly bag and trash all pet poop, never bury or dump it outside. Fourth, long-acting 3-month treatments carry higher ecological risk. Outdoor pets are better matched with monthly faster metabolized pills. Responsible pet care isn't only feeding, playing, and protecting your dog or cat from parasites. It also means caring for the parks, yards, and wildlife around our homes. A small habit like properly disposing of stool can cut hidden soil pollution drastically. If you've been tossing dog waste in bushes or dumping cat litter in your garden up till now, today's the perfect day to switch things up. Feel free to drop a comment below, share which parasite prevention you use for your pets. We can swap eco-friendly pet care tips together. That's all for today's talk, everyone. Thanks so much for listening.